Well, Grant, you wanted that bounce back with the drive and the determination, I guess, on Tuesday night, and you got that in bucket loads, didn't you? It was a really nice reaction after Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I thought we played well on a whole. It was a really good team performance. I felt, and a lot of individuals have come out of the game with great credit as well. And probably unfortunate not to win the game in the end. The amount of chances that we created and opportunities that we created in the game. We probably should have scored more than just one goal. So there's positives for us to take out of the game. Obviously the negative is the start to the second half, which is something that happened against Middlesbrough in the previous game as well. So we've had a look at it this morning as a group, as players and staff, and obviously debrief the game and try and cut out some of these errors that we make, particularly at the start of a second half in games.
Yeah, you touched upon it on Tuesday night. It's the holy grail, really, with a good side. It's taking your best bits and getting them as consistent as possible, both from game to game and then within games as well.
Yeah, consistency, it's massive. I mean, look, over the last 6 games, I've been pleased in 5 of them. On a whole, really, with the performance and the attitude and the tempo that players have played at. Obviously, the Middlesbrough game, the game got taken away from us in the first 5 minutes of the second half when we go 2-0 down. So it's about understanding and learning from that. It's about getting better. It's also, we have to make sure that we know that we've played well in the game as well. So, letting the players see what we've done well, what we try to work on in the game plan. A lot of what we tried to do, we did, and that's pleasing. And hopefully we can take that into Bristol.
With your strikers, Johnson, Clark, Harris now on to double figures for the season, given everything that's been thrown at him, that's not a bad return.
It is. It's a good return for Jono, and obviously, given the fact that he's probably not been to where he wants fitness levels, Jono will tell you that himself. He's obviously not had a great start in terms of missed a huge chunk of pre-season. He's had some niggles and stuff like that early part of the season, and he's looking strong now. He's looking good. He's scoring on a regular basis. When he plays the way he has shown against QPR or against Luton, he's a handful for any centre half in this division, and it's great to see him in good form. Scoring goals, contributing to the team, because he's a big part of what we do. Not just on the pitch but off the pitch as well. He's a leader in the changing room.
Yeah, you've got that nice variety in attack, something you had at Hull as well, where you go through your centre forwards and you've got pretty much every different skill set nicely ticked off.
Yeah, I think that's important in the attacking areas. You have a different variation in terms of what you've got up there. And I think all the forward players are different in their own way, which is great. Pleasing again, we've had another, this week, obviously, to see Joe Randall back out in the training ground as well. It's been good. Really impressed with what I've seen today of him. But again, Joel's going to take a little bit of time, but the attacking players are, have been good since I've come in. They've all contributed, particularly John O'Ricky and Jack, and obviously Sammy Smodic. They've all contributed, and then nice to see Kawami and a wee bit more of him, because I thought he was good in the game also, which is pleasing to see.
Yeah, I know it's an entirely hypothetical question, really, but if you take away the fitness issues, do you feel that for this level there is a really good blend there? We just haven't had the opportunity to see it, really.
Yeah, I do, and there's a good core of the group here, that are under contract for the next year, 2 year, 3 year, which is pleasing, and it gives us a chance to sit down, I think, with the owners over the next few weeks and outline a plan for next season, regardless of what division we're in, and then we know what we've got to work with, what we're going to try and do. What's the style of play, what formation are we going to use? We have to make sure that we set this in stone and we make the recruitment around that, which I know will happen over the next couple of weeks. But at the minute, we want to try and stay strong, stay competitive in every single game, and hopefully we can go to Bristol and do that again on Saturday.
Yeah, with Joel Randall, you mentioned a couple of weeks back that for him it was really a case of just getting a smile back on his face. That would be an important first step. Have you managed to do that?
Yes, we have, and Joel's been obviously really frustrated in terms of not getting the games that he's needed, picking up little injuries that's kept him out for long spells this season. But it's about getting him, like I've said before, mentally in a good place, which we is, and we're giving him some help outside of the football club on that as well. But also when he's on the pitch, has been able to play with that freedom, that flair that he's got. Probably the first time today I've seen it, how quick he can go past somebody or glide with the ball. So it was pleasing to see. So we need to try and keep him on the training ground as much as we can, and build up his tolerance, build up his fitness. Make him in a good place mentally, that we never know, maybe we'll see him before the end of the season at some point, but we're not putting any pressure on Joel. We'll just want to make sure we get him right.
Yeah, because it's easy to forget, but he hasn't actually played a huge number of games in his career to date. He's still young, fresh, whatever you want to call it in that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's tough, he's come all the way down from Exeter. He's on his own. He's got obviously some of the boys in and around him, but as a football club, we have to make sure we support people like that, because obviously with the investment that was put into bringing him here, so we got to make sure we do everything we can in our power to make sure he's settled, he's happy, and he's in a mental place that we know that he can go and perform on the football pitch.
What do you make then of Bristol City as a side?
A little bit up and down, I would say. I mean, Nigel's a great guy. A lot of time for Nigel. Particularly when we played him when I was a holiday, and he came into my office after the game. Lovely man. But again, it's another championship team with real experience, with real quality all through it. The division's that tough and tight. A few places, a few wins, and you can get yourself up the league. So it's another challenge for us that we're looking to meet head on and see if we can go there and cause a few surprises. But it's a tough game again.
Yeah, and with, just to pick out one player, Andreas Weimann, who's had a good record at this level, but this season seems to have taken it up to the next step, really.
Yeah, every team seems to have really good forwards in the championship. If you think of Chris Martin, Nicky Wells, Andreas Weimann, it's the list goes on. They're strong in that area of the pitch. So we're going to have to be defensively strong and sound, and to deal with a lot of the problems they want to try and set to us. But also we've got to make sure we carry a threat at the other end, and we've got to focus on our own game, making sure that we get the game plan right, and we go there and see if we can get the result.
Yeah, and to go back to where we started, if you get that drive and determination, that, to be fair, not just Tuesday night, but as you say, a large number of the games recently, it takes you a long way, doesn't it? It's a good place to start from.
Absolutely. It's getting the basics right, making sure that we're competing, making sure we're landing on first and second balls, making sure that we're aggressive in our press and our play. We conceded against Middlesbrough because we didn't do it early in the second half, and we conceded against Luton because I think it was 2 minutes with the ball was in play, 2 minutes, and they scored. So it's making sure that we remain competitive in everything we do, and every challenge that we're getting in for, that we go in full-heartedly, because after that, like I've always said, there's good football players here, but you have to get that bit right first.